I trusted the wrong person. And by the time I realized it, they'd already taken everything. Let me tell you how I became someone I never thought I'd be. How I went from Marcus Reed, the guy who believed in second chances, to the man who orchestrated the most calculated takedown you've ever heard. This isn't about heroism. It's about what happens when you push someone too far. I was 28, living in Chicago, working at Hartwell and Associates, a mid-sized investment firm. 6 years climbing from junior analyst to associate director. I was good, really good. My boss Richard said I had the instincts, the vision. He said I reminded him of himself, but this story isn't about Richard. It's about his son. Daniel Hartwell was my best friend. Had been since college. We met freshman year at Northwestern, bonded over late-night pizza, became inseparable. He was the brother I never had. When he told me his dad was hiring, I jumped. When I started dating Emma, Daniel convinced me she was the one. When I bought the ring, he helped me pick it out. You see where this is going, don't you? Emma Hayes was everything. Auburn hair, this laugh that could light up a room. We met at a wedding, danced until 3 a.m., and I knew by sunrise I was marrying this woman. Daniel approved immediately, brought her coffee at work, invited her to every hangout, treated her like family. The three of us were inseparable. Movie nights, Sunday brunches. We were solid. I should have seen it. How his eyes lingered too long, how he texted her directly instead of through me, how he helped her move furniture when I was traveling, but I didn't see it because I trusted him. October, I proposed on the lakefront trail, got down on one knee. She said yes before I finished asking. We called Daniel immediately. He screamed through the phone, insisted on taking us to celebrate. Expensive restaurant. Champagne. To Marcus and Emma, he said, raising his glass. May you have the kind of love that makes the rest of us jealous. I should have heard the edge in his voice. Wedding set for June, 8 months away. Emma dove into planning. I was drowning in work. Richard landed 3 major clients, needed someone to manage them, 14-hour days, coming home after Emma was asleep, leaving before she woke up. Daniel's been helping with wedding stuff, Emma mentioned one February night. He offered to scout venues since you're so swamped. I thought it was nice. My best friend helping my fiancé. Thanks, man, I told Daniel the next day. I owe you one. That's what brothers are for, he said. March came. Emma seemed distant, always on her phone, flipping it face down when I walked in. Everything okay? I asked. Just wedding stress, she said. I believed her, because I wanted to. Then came Thursday night. I left work early, grabbed Thai food, planning to surprise her. I opened the apartment door quietly. The surprise was on me. They were on the couch, his hands in her hair, her hands on his chest. They didn't hear me at first. I just stood there, watching my life implode. When Emma looked up and saw me, her face went white. Daniel turned around. And for 1 second, just 1 second, I saw something that wasn't guilt, it was relief. Marcus, Emma started. I held up my hand. Didn't say a word. Turned around. Walked out. Left the Thai food by the door. Heard them calling after me. Their voices sounded underwater. I got in my car, drove, ended up at a bar in Logan Square, ordered whiskey, drank until they cut me off. My phone buzzed. 63 missed calls, 48 texts. I blocked both their numbers. Here's what you need to understand. I didn't want revenge at first. I wanted to disappear, to wake up and find out it was a nightmare. But that's not how reality works. Over the next week, the story came out. Emma's letter at my door. They'd been together since January. 4 months. Daniel showed up at my apartment begging to explain they fell in love. It just happened. They never meant to hurt me. Leave before I do something we'll both regret, I told him. Monday. Richard called me into his office. I thought I was getting fired. I'm promoting you, he said, sliding a folder across his desk. Junior partner. Daniel's good, but you're better. You've got the killer instinct. This was everything I'd worked for, being handed to me by the father of the man who destroyed my life. There's just one thing, Richard continued. Daniel's been underperforming, distracted. Is there something I should know? That's when the idea hit me. I signed the partnership papers, thanked Richard, went back to my office. And I started thinking, here's what they didn't know. I had access to everything at Hartwell and Associates, every account, every transaction. And Daniel? Daniel had been getting sloppy. I'd noticed small discrepancies in his reports, numbers that didn't add up, clients confused about fees. I started digging. Late nights, weekends. What I found was beautiful. Daniel had been skimming. 50,000 here, 30,000 there. Spread across enough accounts that clients wouldn't notice. Almost a year of it, probably funding his lifestyle. It totaled just over $400,000, enough to destroy him, enough to send him to prison. But I didn't turn him in. Not yet. I wanted him to feel safe first, to think he'd gotten away with everything. I played the heartbroken friend. Started having coffee with Daniel again after a few weeks. I understand, I told him. Emma and I weren't right for each other anyway. Relief flooded his face. He actually hugged me. "You're a better man than I deserve," he said. He had no idea. Emma reached out, wanted closure. I met her at a coffee shop. "I forgive you," I said. "I hope you and Daniel are happy." She cried. Said I was handling this with such grace. I smiled and wished her well. Meanwhile, I was building my case, documented everything, created spreadsheets, gathered emails, found the offshore account, Cayman Islands, because of course it was. But revenge? Timing is everything. I could have gone to Richard immediately, watched Daniel's life implode. But that felt too quick, too merciful. I wanted Daniel to build something first. Something he could lose. So I waited. Months passed. Daniel and Emma moved in together, got engaged. I went to their engagement party in August, watched them glow with happiness. I gave a toast. "Love works in mysterious ways," I said. Everyone raised their glasses. At work, I kept excelling. Richard gave me more clients. Started talking about me being CEO material someday. Daniel stayed in his position. Good enough to stay, not good enough to rise. I could see it eating at him. His best friend surpassing him in his father's company. But he couldn't say anything. He thought he owed me his silence. The irony was delicious. Then came the opportunity. Richard announced he was stepping back. Partial retirement. He wanted to split leadership between his top two executives, me and Daniel, co-vice presidents. Path to full control within 5 years. Everything Daniel had ever wanted, his birthright. The announcement was set for Monday morning. Full company meeting. Richard told me on Friday, asked me to prepare remarks. That weekend I made my move. I compiled everything into one devastating presentation. Every fraudulent transaction, every piece of evidence, every dollar stolen. Then I added something extra. I'd traced where the money went, vacation rentals, designer purchases, down payment on their condo. He'd literally used stolen money to build his life with Emma. Sunday night, I sent it to Richard's personal email. Subject line, "Something you need to see before tomorrow's announcement." I didn't sleep, just sat there, drinking coffee, watching the clock. My phone rang at 6 a.m. "Richard, my office now," he said. I arrived to find him sitting in the dark. My presentation on his screen. His face looked 10 years older. "Is this real?" he asked. "Every word," I said. "You verified it?" "Multiple times. I have forensic accounting to back it up." Long silence. Then, "Why didn't you come to me sooner?" "I needed to be sure," I said. "And honestly, Richard, I needed to decide if I could work for a company run by someone who'd do this. I've been interviewing elsewhere. I have offers. But I thought you deserved to know before I made my decision." It was a lie. But Richard didn't know that. "The announcement this morning," he started. "I'll understand if you need to postpone," I said. "No." His voice was steel. "We're making an announcement, just not the one I planned." 9 a.m. entire company in the conference room. Daniel sat in front, Emma beside him. She'd started doing contract work for the firm. Another thing I'd allowed. They both smiled at me when I walked in. I smiled back. Richard stood at the podium, thanked everyone, talked about growth, bright future. Daniel was glowing. This was his moment. Which is why, Richard continued. "I need to address a serious matter that's come to my attention." The room went quiet. Daniel's smile faltered. "We've discovered significant financial irregularities," Richard said. "Over $400,000 has been misappropriated over the past year. The perpetrator has been identified." Daniel's face went from confident to confused to pale. I watched him realize. Watched the exact moment he understood. His eyes found mine. "Daniel Hartwell has been terminated effective immediately," Richard said. "He's been escorted from the premises by security. Will be cooperating fully with law enforcement." The room erupted. Whispers, gasps, people turning to look. But Daniel wasn't there anymore. Security had quietly removed him during Richard's speech. Emma was still there, though, frozen, tears streaming down her face. "In light of this," Richard continued, "I'm promoting Marcus Reed to sole vice president of operations, effective today. He's the one who uncovered this fraud and reported it. The integrity and leadership this company needs. Marcus, join me up here." I stood, walked to the front, shook Richard's hand. The room applauded. I didn't look at Emma, didn't need to. I could feel her stare, feel her trying to process how the man she'd betrayed had just destroyed her future. Police arrested Daniel that afternoon. The DA was very interested. White-collar crime. Prominent businessman's son. Clear evidence. Media picked it up by evening. Investment firm heir arrested for embezzlement. Daniel's face all over the news. Emma called me that night. I answered. "How could you?" she sobbed. "How could I what? Report a crime? Do my job?" I said. "You knew. You knew this whole time, and you just waited." "I waited for him to face consequences," I said. "Just like I waited to see if you'd come clean about the affair before I caught you. Funny how neither of you managed that." "This is revenge," she said. "No," I said calmly. "Revenge would be illegal. This is justice." Daniel stole from clients who trusted him. I reported it. That's ethics. "His life is over, Marcus. He's going to prison," she said. "Probably. But that's what happens when you steal $400,000. Actions have consequences, Emma. You two taught me that." Silence. Then, "You're not who I thought you were." "Neither are you," I said. "Difference is I'm okay with who I became." I hung up, blocked her number. Never spoke to her again. The legal process took months. Daniel fought it, hired expensive lawyers, claimed I fabricated evidence. But the forensic trail was too clear. The offshore account existed exactly where I said it would. His lawyers advised a plea deal. He got 7 years federal prison. Richard disowned him publicly. Wrote an op-ed about accountability, even when it's your own family. Emma left Chicago, moved back to Ohio, back to her parents' place. Last I checked, she was working at a small design firm, trying to rebuild a life that would never quite be what she imagined. As for me, VP at 29. Richard mentored me hard, probably trying to make up for his son's failures. The company grew. I made partner, then managing partner. When Richard fully retired 5 years later, I bought him out, became CEO. Hartwell and Associates became Reed Capital Management. The sign went up last spring. I never married, had relationships, some serious. But nothing stuck. Trust is funny. Once you see how easily it breaks, you become more careful. Maybe too careful. My therapist says I have walls. I tell her the walls are there for a reason. Sometimes I think about Daniel in prison. Wonder if he understands yet what really happened. The moment he decided to betray me with Emma, he started down a path that would cost him everything. The embezzlement was just a weapon I used. But he loaded the gun himself. People ask if I feel guilty, if I lie awake wondering if I went too far. The answer is complicated. I don't feel guilty about reporting the fraud. That was real. Those clients deserved restitution. But do I feel guilty about waiting? About timing my revelation for maximum damage? About making sure Daniel had built a life with Emma before I burned it all down? No, I don't. Because here's what I learned. Some betrayals change the fundamental architecture of who you are. Daniel and Emma didn't just end a relationship, they destroyed my ability to trust, my faith in people I loved, my belief that loyalty meant something. They took the person I was and shattered him. And when the pieces came back together, they formed someone new, someone harder, someone capable of patience and calculation. I didn't destroy Daniel. He destroyed himself the moment he decided what he wanted mattered more than who he'd hurt. I just made sure the universe caught up with him faster than it would have otherwise. And if that makes me a bad person, I can live with that. Better to be a bad person who sleeps soundly than a good person who gets walked over by everyone who claims to love you. The company Christmas party is tonight. 20 floors up, overlooking Michigan Avenue. In the offices I built from the ruins of someone else's empire, I'll give a toast about gratitude and success and integrity. People will raise their glasses. Believe every word. And tomorrow I'll wake up in a penthouse apartment, drive to a job I own, live a life built on the ashes of the people who tried to take everything from me. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. I say it's best served after you've let them think they've won, after they've toasted to their happiness and planned their future and forgotten that some debts come due when you least expect them. That's when you remind them, I didn't forget. I never forget. So tell me in the comments, what would you have done in my position? Forgiven and moved on? Or made them pay the price? And hey, drop the craziest betrayal story you know below. I want to hear it. And if my story had your heart racing, smash that like button and subscribe for more tales that'll make you question everything. I'll see you next time.